Part 1. The World She Remembers. In the Kingdom of Eldwyn, stories were written long before the people who lived them were born. At least, that was what Maribel Ashbourne believed. She remembered the game. A romance fantasy. Swords, saints, heroes, and tragic noble daughters. She remembered every route, every ending, every heartbreak. And most importantly, she remembered one unavoidable truth. The hero always abandoned the fiancée. Not immediately, not cruelly, but inevitably. The villainess, proud, noble, engaged since childhood, would be quietly cast aside when the saintess arrived. Her name erased from songs, her engagement dissolved in whispers. And this time? The villainess was her younger sister. Maribel stood at the balcony of the Ashbourne estate, fingers gripping the railing as she watched her sister laugh below in the garden. Lynette Ashbourne, 16, golden-hearted, soft-spoken, with eyes too trusting for noble politics, engaged to the kingdom's hero, Sir Alaric Valor. Maribel exhaled slowly. Absolutely not. She didn't care about status. She didn't care about the hero's reputation. She didn't care if the world expected this story. She cared about Lynette's pride. If the engagement was going to break, it would break now, cleanly, without humiliation. And if the hero had to hate the Ashbourne family for that to happen, Maribel would make sure of it. Part 2. The leak Maribel had discovered the problem 3 days ago. It happened while she was plotting. Just a passing thought. That hero is a walking red flag. And suddenly, a tiny, translucent chibi ghost of herself popped into existence over her shoulder. Same hair, same scowl. It crossed its tiny arms and shouted, red flag, throw him into a dungeon. Maribel screamed. The maid screamed. The ghost flipped a chair. Since then, the phenomenon repeated whenever Maribel thought strongly about someone. Her inner thoughts, her real emotions, manifested as a floating, expressive, uncontrollable spirit version of herself. She called it the mental projection leak. It could not lie. It could not be stopped. And it was extremely dramatic. Maribel pinched the bridge of her nose. Of all the magical abilities to awaken, the ghost nodded solemnly. We are cursed with honesty. Part 3. The hero arrives. Sir Alaric Valor arrived precisely at noon. He was taller than expected, broad-shouldered, silver-armored, posture straight enough to shame statues. His expression was serious, composed, and deeply polite. A man raised on duty. A man who did not look like a heartbreaker. Maribel forced a smile. Welcome to the Ashbourne estate, Sir Valor. We are delighted to receive you. The ghost appeared instantly. It flipped the tea table. Get out! She's too good for you. Cancel this wedding and leave. Alaric blinked. Once. Then he looked directly at the ghost and laughed. Not a chuckle. A genuine, startled laugh. Is that a spirit? Maribel nearly died on the spot. I assure you, Sir Valor, that is not... The ghost pointed at Lynette, who was hiding behind a pillar. Protect the baby sister at all costs. Alaric covered his mouth, shoulders shaking. Lady Maribel, he said carefully, your devotion is remarkable. This was not how this was supposed to go. Part 4. Daily Visits. He came back the next day, and the next, always under some excuse, contract details, family history, estate inspections, always polite, always attentive, and always watching the ghost. The ghost critiqued his posture. Too stiff, relax your shoulders. It accused him of future emotional negligence. If you make her cry, I will haunt you. It tried to duel him with a spoon. Alaric accepted the spoon and bowed solemnly. Maribel was mortified. Lynette was confused. And Alaric? He was charmed. One afternoon, as they walked the garden, he spoke quietly. You truly love your sister. Maribel stiffened. She's all I have. The ghost softened, floating closer to her head. She deserves happiness, even if it's not us. Alaric's expression changed then. Not amused, not teasing. Respectful. Then allow me to be honest as well, he said. I am not here for duty alone. Part 5. The Confession. The hero stopped beneath the old willow tree. I do not wish to marry Lynette. Maribel froze. The ghost dropped its imaginary weapon. Wait, what? I admire her, Alaric continued, but my interest lies elsewhere. He turned to Maribel. I wish to court you. Silence. The ghost screamed. Absolutely not. Wait. Maybe no, yes, no. Maribel felt the world tilt. You don't understand, she said tightly. In the story I know, you abandon your fiancé for the Saintess. Then the story you know is wrong, Alaric replied calmly, as if summoned by narrative irony. The Saintess arrived a week later and promptly announced she was engaged to a merchant prince from the southern coast. The ghost stared at the sky. The script is broken. Part 6. Sister's Truth. Lynette confronted Maribel that night. You were trying to ruin my engagement for me, weren't you? Maribel couldn't lie. The ghost hugged Lynette. She deserves better than plot-based misery. Lynette laughed until she cried. You're an idiot, she said fondly. But thank you. The engagement dissolved quietly, amicably. Lynette later fell in love with a scholar who adored her kindness and baked terrible bread. Maribel watched her smile, unburdened. Part 7. A New Contract. The marriage proposal came not with grand spectacle, but with sincerity. Alaric knelt before Maribel in the same garden where everything had gone wrong. I cannot promise perfection, he said, but I promise respect, and patience, and laughter. The ghost wiped dramatic tears. He passed the vibe check. Maribel accepted, not because of stories, not because of games, but because this man saw her chaos, her devotion, her leaks and flaws, and stayed. As the ghost faded, finally quiet, Maribel smiled. For once, the story belonged to her. End.